What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today is officially day 2 of weekend 2 of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta, and today we got quite a large update even after yesterday's massive update. They fixed some things that they screwed up, they added some new things, and on top of that they patched a couple of specialists and weapons, and today we're going to be talking about all of that. But first, I thought we would talk about everything new that they added into the beta today. So, first of all, the map you are watching here is called Hacienda. This is a map that is actually very reminiscent of a Call of Duty 4 map mixed with a Black Ops 2 map. So let me explain myself. But real quick before I get into talking about the map, once again on this video I'm giving away more beta codes. I have a lot more. So all you have to do to win one is simply like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below letting me know why you would like to win the beta code. Also, I'm giving away more beta codes over on my Twitter. The link for that is down in the description. But now let's talk the new map called Hacienda. So first things first, let's describe this map. It's basically a vineyard with a mansion in the middle of it, but the mansion is shaped like a square, and as comparing this map to some of the other maps in Black Ops 4 so far, I would say it's a little bit bigger, but all of your weapon engagements are going to be fairly close quarters, especially if you stick to the inside of the house. If you kind of go around the outside of the map, you can look at a little bit longer range engagements, but for the most part, SMGs are very, very good on this map. So really what this map is kind of a remake of a Call of Duty 4 map, but it's much larger. So the Call of Duty 4 map is called Showdown. It's basically a square-shaped map that has an open space in the middle and you can go around the outside. That is the basic premise of this map. The inside of the map, the inside area, is a square with an area in the middle, but the thing is this map has been made much larger. There's more to each level, there's more things to hide behind. It plays much larger than Showdown did in Call of Duty 4. On top of that, the design style, including like the cars inside the house and everything like that, reminds me of Raid from Black Ops 2. The map plays nothing like Raid, but just the aesthetic, the kind of mansion-esque style to it, I would say this map is a mix between Showdown and Raid, more so leaning towards Showdown than Raid though. But all in all, my thoughts on this map is the first thing I thought is I didn't like it. I thought it was too close quarters, but once you use weapons that are good at close quarters, you can really excel on this map. It takes a little bit to get used to because there are so many doorways, there are a lot of flank routes, but once you get used to where you are in comparison to the enemies, this map turns into a pretty good map. I would say it might actually be in my top 2 or top 3 in the entire beta, so it's a good one. It just takes a little bit to get used to. Now, the two other things that they added include they've increased the level cap to 40, which it sounds like is the highest the level cap is actually going to go in the beta. They've actually sent out this message once you've hit level 40, but in that it includes a couple new weapons and a couple new perks, things like that, so you can expect to get those and unlock those as you rank up. And then the other thing that I think will be live for the rest of the weekend is they've activated double XP and double weapon XP. This is simply for those players who can't play quite as much. They want those players to be able to unlock all the different weapons, the different attachments for those weapons. So it's just to kind of help you there, making sure you can really try everything out in the beta. The next thing is we get into the buffs and nerfs and everything in between. So yesterday they actually had a huge nerf to the movement mechanics in Black Ops 4. The first thing that they did is they reduced the jump height, and on top of that they reduced the height of the subsequent jumps after your first one. The other thing that they did is they decreased the slide duration and speed of the slide when you hold down crouch while sprinting. And the basic response I heard from that yesterday is that people first of all didn't like the new jump height, but they liked that the new bunny hopping mechanic was no longer in the game, which I really do agree with. The other thing is the slide felt ridiculous. It felt like you were sliding for inches and there was no point in doing it. Well, they've actually fixed this. First thing they did is they've increased the jump height to what it was before, but now the subsequent jumps are now lower and lower every time you jump after that. To me, this is the right patch. To me, the jump height really didn't matter in the first place. It was the fact that you could keep jumping at the same height over and over again. This is the patch that I wanted, and this is something I think works perfectly in game. Bunny hopping isn't there, but you can still jump, which means you can still climb into windows easily, climb up on bridges, and everything in between. This is a really good patch if you ask me as far as the jump goes. Now, as far as the slide goes, it's still a little nerfed compared to Weekend 1, but what they did is they took what they did yesterday, which was decrease the speed and duration of the slide, and they've improved that a little bit. So you slide a little bit further and a little bit faster than yesterday, but slower than Weekend 1. Now, I've only played today a little bit just to get some gameplay on Hacienda, and it does feel better than yesterday. I think the duration could still be a little bit longer, but I think the speed feels good. That's based on very minimal gameplay, but as of right now, that's how it feels for me. But if you disagree, if you liked it yesterday, let me know what you think down in the comments below. The next thing that they changed is a little bit of weapon balance, and the first thing is the GKS. Now, this is a weapon that got a massive buff yesterday, but apparently wasn't enough. So what they've now done is extended the damage range to compete better at mid-range. So this is a weapon I haven't tried yet since the new buffs, but I plan on later today. This weapon was, in my opinion, the worst weapon in the beta last weekend, so all of these buffs should make it a little bit more competitive with the rest of the weapons in the game. Now, the second weapon that got touched here is the ABR-223, which is the weapon that I said yesterday is the best weapon in the game, and what they did here was a little bit of a recoil nerf. So they've increased the second shot recoil to make it harder to hit the third shot in the burst at longer distances, and it does exactly what it says. That third bullet is actually a lot harder to hit. The thing is, though, is this weapon is an absolute god up close. It does incredibly high damage and has a really fast fire rate, especially when you equip the operator mod, which you unlock at the weapon's top level. So this weapon, in my opinion, is still the best weapon in the game. The difference now is it's a little bit harder to hit targets a long range away that are behind cover. So it's much better at that medium to short range than it is that long range now. It's still a godly gun, it's just a little bit worse than it was before, and in fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see them nerf this weapon a little bit more. And just so you know, the gameplay you're seeing with the ABR in this gameplay here is taken after this update, so this is what the new ABR looks like. So the next thing that they touched was a couple of specialist characters, the first of which is Recon, and what they did here was reduce the sensor dart duration. So once you actually use the sensor dart, you shoot it onto a wall, it lasts for a shorter period of time than you did before. And I actually got to use this a few times, and it's actually quite a bit shorter than it was before. It feels a lot shorter, and I think this is good. I thought before the sensor dart lasted far too long. I think it is one of the most powerful things in the game, so it's nice to see it get a little bit of a nerf. I think it's a little bit more balanced. The next character that they touched here is Torque, and Torque just seems to keep getting buffed and buffed and buffed. Yesterday his barrier got buffed, today his razor wire is getting buffed. So what they did today is they reduced the razor wire cooldown. Now this is interesting because this is a character they very clearly want to be very, very good, but isn't directly impacting the game like some other characters are, because for example Battery has a gun that just blows up areas of the map and gets lots of kills, whereas Torque controls the map. He doesn't kill people insanely fast like other specialists do, and I think because of that specific nature, a lot of players stay away from Torque, and I don't think there's anything that they can do to buff Torque that's going to make him that much more amazing. Torque controls the play of game. He doesn't kill people to change the play of game, and that's something players are just going to have to get used to. I don't necessarily continuously buffing his abilities is going to make that change. All it will do is make me have to shoot more razor wire, but hey, that's my opinion. Now, the next thing is another score streak buff, which I always love to see. This one is again to the Mantis. So once again, they are buffing the health of the Mantis. And let me tell you, as you saw by the gameplay, this thing just destroys. The Mantis, in my opinion, is one of the best score streaks in the game now. They have buffed the damage on it, they've buffed the explosive radius, they've buffed the health, and now they're buffing the health again. This score streak is really good, and clearly they are dedicated to making their score streaks in the game very, very good, and I really like to see that. Now, the other thing is a new game mode came out yesterday called Heist, and I expected them to make a lot of changes to it today, but they really didn't. The only thing they did is removed some of the attachments from the Hacienda, which is of course the rocket launcher in Black Ops 4. So not many changes were made there. The big change I want to see made to Heist is reduce the amount of body armor people can get, but we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out, whether that's going to change, whether that's going to stay the same, because as of right now they haven't made many changes to Heist. Now, I think all of the changes that they made in this update are amazing, great for the game, improve the gameplay, and the thing that I wanted to say is good on Treyarch for actually going out, paying attention to what's going on in the beta, and making changes and improving it and trying to make their game better. But this is something we need to see continue throughout the life cycle of Black Ops 4. And the big thing here is, if you didn't already know this, when there is a beta out for PlayStation and Xbox, the updates are free. The developers Activision and Treyarch don't have to pay to update the game. But when the game is actually fully released and they're on a disc, the game has gone live, then the developers actually have to pay for every update on console. That is why you see Fortnite releasing so many updates, is because it's free for them to do so, because they are still in early access. Once Call of Duty goes live on October 12th, it then costs them money to update the game. And apparently, I don't work for either companies, but apparently that amount of money is actually quite high. So that's why you're seeing way more updates now than in the actual release of the game. But here's what I'm telling you, Treyarch. The people are seeing what you're doing. They're seeing the amount of support you are putting in the game, and they like it. If you can continue this, maybe even with a weekly patch, once the game is actually released, people are going to love the game that much more, and I love to see the support you are putting in the game. So all I am saying is keep it up, keep doing what you're doing, and make Black Ops 4 the best game possible. But guys, that's all I really have to say. I think all of the changes they made are amazing, but if you disagree, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think of Black Ops 4 as a whole. Also, if you enjoyed the video, it'd be very greatly appreciated if you could hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all of my Black Ops 4 content, which I'm putting out every single day, the best way to do so is hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.